Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to Fantasy Forecast for November 1st, 2016. It's going to be a quick video today, even though we have a bit of a longer slate. This is my first chance to start filming after work, and we got a shorter lock today. They moved the game time up an hour, so I apologize for those of you that are going to get this without much time to watch it, so I want to make it kind of short. Quick review of yesterday. If you don't include opening day, we're at 4-1 on the season now in terms of cash wins, which I'm pretty happy about. I'll remind you guys, if I don't put a lineup out or I don't put a show out, it's probably because it's a short slate or for some reason I just don't want to play it for that day. And it will happen occasionally, although most days I will try to get a lineup to you guys. Alright, last night it was a comfortable 50-50 and double up win. If you tried triple ups and anything else, triple ups were right on the line, and anything beyond that was not... It didn't win. You couldn't win with a tournament on this one. But that's what I told you guys. I was really aiming to give you guys a cash lineup. I wanted it to be solid. A lot of people thought this might have not done well if they took it at the beginning, but having a 4-game slate and then having players at the very bottom of the slate, Griffin and Paul, well, they pulled it through. They gave me 80 points at the end, which solidified the lineup. Paul and Lawson, 44 and 24. Lawson just a points and dollar mismatch. We have another one of those today, guys. DeRozan and Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick wasn't exciting for his 4,000, but at least it was the minimum 4 times value floor. Same with TJ Warren. I mean, he's putting up what you want him to as a floor, but he's starting to be fairly priced if this is the production he's going to give out. Carroll was just ridiculous. You expect him to get better than that. 14 points, miserable, waste of money. Griffin was fine. Millsap was fine. Actually did better than 5 times value on his money. I think he was 8,000, so that's perfect. And JV did not perform as well. I think Nursic was the pick tonight, and he was cheaper than him. So if you'd gone with Nursic, he probably did very well. I know I mentioned him in the lineups, but all I'm trying to do is get you guys a solid cash lineup. All right, on to today. Cash lineup for today. We got Tim Frazier. Tim Frazier, now, okay, guys, I know you can spend up a little at the point guard position today. It's easily possible. At the top, we've got Curry and we've got Lillard. Lillard has been averaging quite well, and if you think on the highest over-under slate on the board, you know that he's a play today, fit him in if you... I mean, Tim Frazier is starting to be priced a bit fairly, but I like Frazier still at 5,500 because Davis has to pass the ball out to someone else when they inevitably start to double-team him, so... It leaves Frazier open for nice shots, and I want to take him today. And your other lock today at point guard is going to be Dunn. This is due to Ricky Rubio's absence. I mean, the guy normally gets 12, 15 minutes, and he's going to see about a 30-minute run today. And you look for these price mismatches when they come out on injuries and surprise news that hasn't caught FanDuel up or DraftKings up. Dunn is a lock for point guard minutes today, guys. He could suck conceivably, but generally when you put a scrub in for 30-35 minutes, the guy gives you all kinds of points and you're very happy with his performance. So I say take it to the bank to guys. He's a solid cash play. Continuing on the list there, you can look at Steph Curry, but I don't like the assist situation anymore. I don't think we're going to see those massive performances with Steph on terms of getting rebounds, really. He's not picking up boards because guess who's getting them? Durant. Durant is an interesting play if you can fit him in, and I did in this lineup because I think it's a solid cash run, but Curry just isn't. I think he's going to have to come down to about 8,000. And yes, I know we're talking about like MVP and everything else, but hey, if he's not putting up the shots and putting up the fantasy points, don't burn your money. Don't light it on fire, guys. Okay, rounding out the position, sure, look at Kyrie Irving. He's a choice. Dragic against Sacramento's defense. He's a choice. Even Conley or Teague could surprise against the Lakers. I mean, the point guard position is pretty damn loaded today, guys. I'll be honest with you. So you got tough choices to make. I went cheaper here because if I can get myself 5 to 6 times value out of these dollars, and then I can still do the same for the rest of the lineup where the positions are more difficult, then I don't need to stress it, and I can just make my cash game and go. All right, so pretty much done with the point guard position here today. If you're going to spend down at the position, look at Lawson again at 51. He's still a bit mispriced. Anything else in here, really? Kevin Dunn is your value price, so that's it. Shot guard today. You can take the Beard. I think he's overpriced at 11-2, so I'd be passing today. Unless you think he's going to give you 56 fantasy points against Cleveland. Yeah, exactly. You just thought of it as soon as I came out of my mouth. So skip that today, logically. And if he gets 65 points, forget it. Because enough teams against enough good opponents, he won't score 65 every time. If he did, he'd start looking like Westbrook. You can take Alphabet today. He's in a decent position against the Pelicans. The Pelicans, everything is now running through Anthony Davis. There's no question about it. Everything is running through Davis. They win or lose on him. He's their horse. That being said, Alphabet will find ways to play without Davis guarding him, and they're going to have to let him get some points, so it's just the way it's going to go. He's probably going to do okay today. The thing is, I like McCollum's position a lot more. With the highest over-under again on the board, and McCollum seems to be the number one shot taker on the team, so I'm thinking in a fast over-under game, then this is the guy you're going to want to take today. And he'll probably run you for 40 is my guess. That's a rough estimate and way above 5 times value. Most sites won't tell you that, but I'm guessing it's a 40-pointer today. Alright, J.R. Smith is your rounding out your push shot guard position. This was tough for me because there's several guys here, as you round down. Levine will probably see a little bit of an increase in usage today, and he's been steady Eddie with his 29, 30 fantasy points. So he could probably bust out 33 fantasy points today. That's 5.5 times value. The thing is, can you afford him? Same with Klay Thompson. I mean, on the high over-under game, he might do okay today. Be looking at that. You can check out Gordon today, even though he is running against Cleveland because he's just a little cheap. Waiters looks great against Sacramento. That guy is probably going to give you 5 times for sure today. That's only 22.5 fantasy points. I think that's a lock. But J.R. Smith, Cleveland on the other side, and he's kind of like, sixth man benchy kind of. I mean, he'll probably see some run if Cleveland can get ahead. And even if he doesn't, he'll probably see enough. As long as he can sharpshoot his way to about 20 points or so, 22 points, and hold the rest of my lineup. Because the other choices here, I can go down to Crab and try to play the game and lose $100. I mean, I wouldn't fault any of you guys for doing that. You can instead of J.R. Smith, you can go Crab. I mean, differentiate a little. You guys know hundreds of people are watching this video, so I mean, if you want to change things up a little, that's why I give you guys the options. That's about it. I don't see much else I mean, I wouldn't go incredibly cheap. You want to stop about $4,000 or so. I wouldn't go much more than that. $4,300 actually with Crab. All right, on to the small forward position today. We got Durant and Winslow. I think Winslow's a lock with his minute usage and the run he's been getting lately at 5,000. I think we're going to see him pumping up to the high fives at 6,000 shortly. And if that's the case, you're getting him at a 20% discount today. So just take it and be happy. And that allowed me to get the money to fit in KD, and like we said, a high-scoring game. James is more likely to sit in the blowout type and score around that average of 45, where KD can probably hit that average of 55 in a sloppier game where he picks up a couple extra rebounds than normal, above his already insane average. Other choices on the board today, you can always look at Leonard. I mean, you can look at Paul George against the Lakers, anyone against the Lakers, and Leonard is just good, period. I mean, it just depends on the night. Rudy Gay's been doing all right. Wiggins will probably see an increase in usage today, again, with Rubio out. I mean, I don't see a big bump. The Bane beneficiary is going to be done, but, go ahead and look at Wiggins today if you want. You can check out Gordon. And you can look at Ariza. And, I love this. They really need to ban mufflers like that someday, at least in residentials. All right, look at Ennis today. I mean, I know that Memphis plays a little slower, but he's been performing at 5 times value for his, his $4,400 price. If you need to go cheap at the position, you can definitely look at Ennis. But don't let that sacrifice you on your Winslow choice. Winslow is probably your best bet at 6 times value today, and for a cash game, it's an absolute lock. All right, on to powered forward today. On a cash game, guys, now on a tournament, I have no problem with you guys fading Anthony Davis today. There's choices out there. You can look at Kevin Love. I mean, you can go farther down the list. But Anthony Davis, it's the same thing as Westbrook. If the guy puts up 65, 70 fantasy points, you lose. So the thing is, you have to kind of trump it somehow. And what you do is you basically play with the crowd on the heavy stud like that that's averaging 67 fantasy points. And some people might be thinking they got burned after the first 2 games, and then the third one, was San Antonio. You shouldn't have been, because San Antonio was playing at home, and it was a perfect time for Anthony Davis to come back to earth after scoring 95 points. Well, this is a perfect position to come right back up again and show everyone he really is averaging around 60 fantasy points in a game. And if he can get you 60 points and I can afford him, I'm locking him. So that's not even question to me. On a cash game, guys, you're going to want Davis today. And I rounded out on here with Dieng because if you look at the scoring against Memphis, and Dieng should see a little bit of a bounce too, right along with Dunn. So I decided to ride that hot hand, and if the guy can give us anything just irregular as average, 36 points, that's a 6 times value. I mean, if that's great. So I'm happy. Well, I hope Rubio's fine, but I'm happy that Rubio is out and that Dieng will get the bounce. Finishing out the position here. Randall's been interesting lately, but it's the Lakers, so. And let's see. We got nothing else cheap that I see there. So I would just be sticking with, Dieng, Davis, and then, there are a couple others you can be looking at, like I was saying, but nothing that pops out. Aldridge is always a choice. Love is always a choice. Nothing just intriguing. Zebo, but he's a sixth man, like I was saying. Yeah, I called him yesterday, or the day before, but it just happens sometimes. I'm not so sure. I mean, Parker could do okay today. It's a little fluid in the mid-tier area. I just rather take locks. Dieng is a lock today. And Davis, I think, is a lock. So, I mean, my position's done there. All right, on to the center position. Cousins, you always have to be looking at him. Towns will probably see a slight bump today. And Whiteside, I mean, it's got a Sacramento opponent. The center position is tough today, guys. You got 3 good guys towards the top there, and I wouldn't have a problem with any of you guys taking them today. I was looking for a more solid cash game play, which is the guarantee, and Miles Turner did come down to earth, supposedly, after his 60-point performance at the beginning there, but he had a 30 in one of them, but that's irrelevant, guys. He's playing the Lakers today, and if he's averaging anything around this 40, if he does anything near it, 35 even, you got a 5 times value center that gets you right to that 300 score that you're going to need to win the games today. All right, so I would be sticking at Turner. I mean, like I said, though, you have choices. If you have the money, Cousins, Town, Whiteside are all in consideration today. On the cheap side, you can look at Emblid because one of their guys is sitting today, their other big guy, but he only plays like 15 minutes, so I only expect him to see a slight bounce in usage. But if you look at his average there on the fantasy points, about 24, that's more than 5 times value in the 4,500 minimum, close to minimum price. So you want to go cheap at center and you want to dig up some extra dollars for some other guy, you can definitely look at Embiid today. All right, and I wouldn't go much cheaper unless you're thinking about Dedmon again on the big play there. He still is mispriced. I think the guy should be running at least 4,300. So 10% discount as well on him. Like I said, guys, center's a tough position today. Okay, that's it for Fantasy Forecast. Again, my recommended optimal cash lineup for FanDuel is at the point guard positions, Frazier and Dunn. At the shot guard positions, McCollum and Smith. At the small forward position, Durant and Winslow. At the power forward position, Davis and Dieng. And at the center position, Turner. Please follow me on Twitter at MikeMiller78 or check the link in the description. And I post last-minute lineup changes there. And if I don't do a video, I will try to normally tweet a lineup up, about an hour before. You guys can always check there as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It helps support this free channel, and I really love, just seeing the engagement and all the comments. I respond to comments once a day. It's just really hard to get all the time together, guys, so I apologize for that. You have any questions, send them out a tweet, or go ahead and comment here on the video. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it, if you won some money on yesterday's lineup. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support, Fantasy Nation. Really, it makes me humble. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, I will have some losses occasionally, but if we keep on records like this, I'm happy to keep on giving it for you guys. Let's keep on raking them up. All right. Have a great afternoon and a wonderful evening. Go out there and go win some big money.